Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in with Enchantress, the Babbler, on our revolutionary rise of high that is happening here at this moment in time. Guys, I have a moment in time, and so I'm coming on here. Hello, how are you? I hope everyone's well. So I haven't done one of these in a random. I'm being so random. I would any kind of tongue tie, any kind of like, type of babble. I'm gonna blame on the pre-Mercury shadow, but not, you know what I mean? Either way, I have a moment in time. And I haven't done one of these in a while, which is just be so random and allow for spirit. See, let's just talk. Right? And see how this goes and stuff like that. Let's just talk because there might be things that we're coming into like within our own being, right? That it is always like that. This is evolution. This is revolution. This is our time to come into our truths, our understandings, right? To act from our understanding and things like that. So like I travel through I'm a linguistic type of person, right? Linguistic. I'm telling you. Either way, language is my kind of thing, and I just, I even overly analyze my own flow of communication and really like to understand, overstand what it is that I'm saying, what I'm putting out. This is why, I do a lot of linguistic coaching and stuff like that, because I think it's very pivotal, and I think it's we must understand what it is that we are saying, what we are emitting into the universe. I really truly comprehend the energy, frequency, vibration that we are speaking into existence and stuff. So when I went to say what did I go to say? I went to say this one is just, I haven't done one of these in a long time, which is gonna let spirit guide us, right? I paused because I'm like, is spirit the word that I want to use? You know what I mean? Because that's a loose cannon, right? Especially as a medium, right? Like for me to say something so, I feel like that's like, for me to say that like that is to be kind of like irresponsible in my own language. So I was going to say wherever the universe takes us, but then I think about my connection to the universe and divine and spirit, and I'm like, it kind of ties. I'm like, what is the proper word that I would like to use at this moment in time to navigate and say, right? What it is that, I'm trying to say here and stuff like that. So either way, right? Some people will be like, oh, it's God. You know what I mean? But if you've watched any and all my videos, and maybe I haven't, maybe I should just do a video specifically on God, the God character and the God energy, frequency, and vibration that has been conditioned unto us to perceive, to believe, like, to understand, and my own evolution of understanding of what that is, and my own view, opinion, understanding, and evolutionary take on that as well. So, I just don't want to be irresponsible with my words, because I don't want to lead people astray and be like, oh, well, you said spirit, and and here you are invoking spirits, you know what I mean? Or any spirit can come about and just commune through since I'm a channel in that kind of way, and that's not true. So I just feel like morally, and I have this this huge, especially the more that I grow and the more that I grow and get into my own authentic no, the more responsibility I feel like I have, especially when I speak. You know what I mean? So I just want to be I don't want to lead anybody to think like people just on here on this internet I see, and I get like, this is why I can't watch certain kind of things and whatever people and like whatever, where I get like a little irritated when spirit leads me in a way, the divine. I like using the divine, right? There we go. I like using the divine, right? Because that's of light, that's of alchemy, that's of alignment for me, right? So the divine, when I'm led by the divine, right? That to see something, to hear something, and it triggers me in a way, like not so much that I'm gonna, oh my gosh, react, respond negatively or wrong, but I get triggered because I'm supposed to talk about it. I'm supposed to counteract that stupidity. I'm supposed to you know, expand on that too. You know what I mean? I just feel like with spirituality trending and all this other kind of stuff or whatever, everybody just speaks so like ignorantly. They just throw words around like, yeah, spirit, spirit. Yeah, like you're a fucking cheerleader, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, yeah, spirit. God, you know? And meanwhile, like you look through them, you see through them, and like, what is God to you? What is you to you? You know what I mean? And it's just like, my goodness, right? So I have a moral responsibility to just be mindful about the stuff I say. Now, don't get me wrong either, because I am a silly person and I have sarcasm for days, and I'm gonna speak my mind as blunt as can be. And so that might come off a different type of way, you know what I mean? And I can give two flying fucking squirrel fucks, right? How somebody interprets something that I say that rubs them the wrong way. Like you want me to articulate on that, or you want to have a fucking healthy conversation about something, then fine, let's have that. But like, you know, there's a lot of like judge and jury in this world. Like everybody's out to fucking crucify people, and it's just, you know, it's like a lot, you know what I mean? So anyways, this one's going to be random. It's going to be how the divine is led at this time. So there might be numerous topics within this one topic of no topic, but be something of topic of discussion, and that's it. So enjoy, because I have a limited time, and so whatever comes out comes out. And if you find yourself here, there are going to be messages in here for you. Best believe, because what kind of alchemy and alignment are you in if you're being led this way? You know what I'm saying? So definitely. So let's start off with some soul truth and just see what we can navigate and articulate a little bit more on. For those that are tapped in, turned on, tuned in to the messages that are spinning here. Am I focused on what I want most? Right? Right? And this is tricky too, right? When you, am I focused on what I want most? Because sometimes in what you want most, you'll focus on what you don't have more than what you want most. So I feel like that is something really good to hone in on, right? Because the lack of something could be what you're focused upon, right? As opposed to what you want the most, right? Or like, you know, and that could be something, part of your conditioning, right? Part of your conditioning can have you navigating your system to focus more on what you don't have as opposed to what you want the most. And some people could be like, oh, but that's what drives me, that's what drives me, that's what drives me, my going through the you know, going through those hard times, going through the negative, struggling over here, right? But that's a conditioning that'll keep you in that cycle, a repeat cycle of not knowing how to get out of the fucking quicksand, right? Because you're swimming in it, you're focused on it, you're in it, you know what I mean? So navigating out of it. But am I focused on what I want most, right? So one reason so few of us achieve what we truly want is that we never direct our focus. We never concentrate on our power. Most people dabble their way through life, never deciding to master anything in particular. I'm guilty of this too, because I do a lot of that kind of stuff. And I guess that's like know your astrology for this realm. Whether you believe in astrology or not, just know your astrology for this realm. I go through Vedic and Western astrology. For those of you that don't know and are new here and all this kind of stuff, definitely watch all my videos so that you can get a better idea of what I be about and stuff like that. But either way, like the Sagittarius in me, right, is all about higher education and stuff like that. So I don't know life without researching, without reading, without writing, without learning. Like I feel like I was born with a book in my, like, and knowledge in my heart, and a book in my hand, and a pen and a paper by my side. Like, I don't know life without always constantly studying. I'm forever a student of life. Like, I've been into the esoterics of life since 4 or 5 years old that I could remember, and it's probably sooner than that too, but we're gonna go there because even when I was 3, because my memory goes really, really far back. Like, you know what I mean? So like when I was 3 and in daycare, like I was already having premonitions. I was with my cat and stuff like that, with the death of my cat. And when my dad picked me up from the daycare, and I was like, we gotta go, we gotta get to Juju, we gotta go, because that was my cat's name. My family still to this day doesn't know why I named that cat Juju, which is interesting, which is magic, you know what I mean? Either way, my first cat, I was in preschool, and my dad could tell you the story too. So like, you know what I'm saying? And he picked me up from daycare. He was late. I was upset, and I was like, there is no time. We have to go. And my daycare was like maybe 2 or 3 blocks away from where we lived. And we ran. He ran home. I've shared the story before. He ran home because he had to use the bathroom, and I ran home with him because I had to get to my cat. Like, so my story of mediumship and my ability to be able to commune with the other side really started really young for me. And so, and the process of life and stuff like that, and then my own journey to understanding, overstanding is still always happening. You know what I mean? I didn't call these abilities or this being tapped in, turned on, tuned in mediumship at the time. I didn't call my ability to read cards and commune and all this other kind of stuff, or tap in, turn on, tune in, and just be so like a vessel, an open channel, and all the stuff that used to happen to me. I didn't call it psychic powers. I didn't call it any of this kind of stuff. It was because I was going through a lot of emotions, a lot of, am I crazy too? The am I crazy part happened for me more in my late teens, early 20s, even some of my 30s. You know what I mean? Because it's like, am I? Because you begin to question, but yet when you're so tapped in, turned on, tuned in, and you realize how long you've been tapped in, turned on, tuned in, it's like, okay, so it's either all my life I've just been nuts, or this is real deal Holyfield kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And just like, and even, when my mom died, and the dream sequence realm of her coming to me in my dreams and telling me goodbye, and, that type of stuff. This was all before the age of 10. So I don't know this life, without being tapped in, turned on, tuned in. I know that it be trending, and I know that a lot of people are all like, oh yeah, me too, me too movement, and all this kind of stuff or whatever, but people be full of shit. You know what I'm saying? So either way, but in this, right, where I was going with all of that, most people dabble their way through life, never deciding to master anything in particular. As a Sagittarius, I have such a curiosity for it all. Like, I want to know everything. I want to know a little bit of everything into something. I want to know everything, and my interests are always like so grand that sometimes I don't finish things I start. Like, that has been a challenge for me on my journey. Like, I can read 4 books at once, and one of those books don't get read, finished. It doesn't mean that they don't get finished. It just doesn't get finished in the way that it could get finished 2 years later. You know what I mean? Or like I can be writing 10, if it's not for school, right? I could be personally writing 10 papers at the same freaking time. And 3 of those papers are still sitting in a drawer somewhere needing to be finished. I've done this. Writing 5 books at once. None of the books get published. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, so, or like starting getting, your degree in something, and then shy 1 credit from getting the master's, the doctorates, or, like, so I understand this. Is the point I was just trying to make. Like, most people dabble their way through life, never deciding to master anything in particular. But then you don't realize too the things that you do master, and opening up to that and stuff like that. Because the mastery of, like, spirituality and energy work. And although this is an evolutionary process and there is no real mastery to anything, like, I know that I say I'm a Reiki master, and that's because I'm masterful in fucking energy. But the confidence that comes from that is the knowing factor of that. But it took a long time to get there. I mastered energy, healing, and all this kind of stuff in my teen years, but I would never say that because I didn't know that. Right? And so even getting a certification, let's say Reiki and all this other kind of stuff, or mediumship. Like, I've been a medium since I was a fucking child. I don't need a certificate, although I have one to tell me that I'm a master at this. And yet there is no real master, because we're always in the process of mastering. So never feel like you're not good enough at something, especially when you keep going at the something, because this is a constant evolutionary growth, like that we're on. Like, you know what I mean? I'm always saying I'm forever a student of life. Yeah, as much as I could be a teacher about certain kind of things, I'm always learning, and that learning is so expansive that it never stops. You know what I mean? So what you focus on grows. So today, ask yourself, is my life a reflection of my values, or do I need to make adjustments? It's time to prioritize. It's time to prioritize, right? So what are you going to prioritize in your life at this time, right? And I feel like, look at, because this Mrs. Peacock, she popped out before and I just left it and all this other kind of stuff, right? And I feel like the mastering of this shine, of this, right? Because the peacock, what do? They showcase their feathers. They're very proud creatures. They're beautiful. They're elegant. They're showcasey, right? They're bold, right? So your boldness, the mastering, what are you focused on and the most? Like, and you think about it, like, sometimes you have to take back your power in order to crescendo it, right? So where are you giving away your power more, right? Is it in the lack of something, or in the more of something, or in the want of something, in the desire of something, or the feeling of that I don't have that something, right? Because it's time for you to be bold, to magnify that, right? Here's a clue, right? Who are you? Who's the bold, right? The bold and the beautiful. What bold part of you speaks truth, that wants to show your feathers too, right? So what part of you, right, wants to magnify itself, wants to show itself, wants to crescendo itself, wants to really be, right? Like the strongest thing you can ever be is really yourself, right? How can we really master alignment, be in a high frequency, right? That was like, I was talking about that right over dinner, and with my cousin and my daughter and stuff like that. We were talking about that, about somebody that had made a comment at one time questioning my energy and stuff like that, because they're not in a good place. And so it's hard to see someone genuinely, like, or to accept someone that vibrates at such a high frequency. You want to know, and this person may have been asking with curiosity, because that's the path that they want to be on. They want to be in that wholeness vibration of vibrating high no matter what's going on in their lives. And honestly, the answer to that is being in your most authentic, genuine self. Like I have vibrated low and I have vibrated high. And the difference between the two is the position that I stand. I'm as authentic as I can be. When I was in my own denials, when I was in my own depression, when I was a shell of my own existence, when I was allowing people to dictate for me, when I was in an abusive relationship, when I wasn't living up to my fullest potential, my vibration was super low. Right? And even though others may have seen this vibrating energy or whatever, they were more accepting of the facade, because most of this world lives in this facade. So now here you go, this raging, blazing peacock, because that's what the fuck I am, right? That's what the fuck I am, right? Even when I'm quiet, right? You see me. You see me miles away. Like, all right, who's that? Even when I'm quiet, right? And that comes with a lot of patience, right? The time will come when it's ready, when you're ready, right? Right? But there's reflection that has to peer into the endless ocean and see what peers back, right? Meditate, right? Make some quiet time in the still air. Even through all the turbulence, the mind is murky and rough waters, right? So believe in your otherworldly beauty, dance with the waves and drink in the sunshine, strength, right? Stay afloat and feel steady and calm. So now what's the difference, right? What's the difference between the high vibration that I had, that I always seem to have been in, to the high vibration that I'm in now? And it's really, honestly, it's authenticity. There's no other explanation. I stand 10 toes deep down into who the fudge I am. No matter what mood I'm in, no matter what's going on around me, I'm me. And granted, that's constantly evolutionary, that's constantly changing. But like when you're operating as your most authentic self, you're not people pleasing, you're not fucking trying to be something that you're not. You're not, like, like, that's why when people that like copy other people and all this other, they have no sense of their own identity and stuff. How can they vibrate high? It's a facade. You don't even know who you are. And granted, there are a lot of people that are learning who they are. They're like in the Alice phase, right? The Alice phase, meeting the caterpillar, right? And like, whom are you, right? This Four of Coins ringing true, right? Here, so this moment of reflection, this moment of like meditation, this moment of deep thought, right? This moment of, all right, who am I within myself, right? As within exudes on out. That's what I'm talking about, because abundant can be. So you're holding on to the everything that you think that something is. Let me hold on to everything so tightly. There's no flow there. It's restriction. It's resistance and stuff like that, right? So what are you focused on the most? Right? And to be that, so it's like this moment that you get to now really look at the tower, right? The tower comes down, the tower comes crashing, the tower hits, right? For some of us, we are the tower hitting, the lightning strike hitting the tower, and everything's falling a mess. But it takes you a while to see that you are that lightning strikes. Like, definitely go watch my videos about the Moldavite people. Are you the Moldavite people? Right? I talk about that. Maybe I'll link it if I remember, and stuff like that, right? So are you the Moldavite people and stuff like that? Because the Moldavite people are here to change everything. What else could this mean, right? So there are always multiple ways to look at every situation. Our first reaction is usually rooted in our fears and limiting beliefs. Look at a situation today by stepping outside of the trigger and ask, what else could this mean? Today's soul action. Is there something your soul is calling you to learn in this moment, or is there a pattern that is ready to be broken? Walk in the other person's shoes and see it from their perspective. If it doesn't involve someone else, ask yourself, how is life happening for me right now? Right? So yeah, so that's cool too, right? I want to use these because I'm looking at the time and I already kind of start making my moves to go and stuff. But these are beautiful cards. They're soul cards, right? So it's open for interpretation. So the way I read it, the way you read it, it's not going to be the same. So right, so look at coming out of your shell. Look at that, look at that, look at that. It's like the waters, the depths, the walking here, like the walking in between the lands, right? Like this could be a cave, this could be the waters, this could be the womb, this could be your flowering, right? You're emerging, this emergence of you that is shadowy too, right? But it's like the light, the dark, right? The merging of this aspect of yourself that wants to come out and is looking at everything, learning everything, bleeding everything, feeling everything, right? There's more to see, right? There's more to see, right? There's more to see within yourself, coming out of yourself. And owning, so that part of being just your truest authentic self, right? That's important, right? If you want to vibrate your highest, be yourself, whatever that is, in whatever shape, form. It doesn't have to be its most beautiful form, but as long as it's real form, you will vibrate at your highest because you're true to yourself. I think that's so important to hone in on. I vibrate high and I cry a lot. That's because I feel so deeply. And a lot of the times I cry because people won't cry. So I cry for them. And I let it out. I'm the ocean, I'm the sea, I'm deep. I cry because you won't. I started saying that when I was young. They'd be like, why are you crying? I'm like, because you won't. And I didn't understand that as an empath. I did not call that an empath. I'm an 80s baby, so we didn't talk this whole new age stuff about all of this kind of stuff. It wasn't trending, like I said. And so there wasn't a lot of this language. People would ask me, why was I crying? And I said, because you won't. So think about that as a feeling being, how deep you are. And now, like, I cry and I don't give a fuck. I cry and I laugh immediately too after, right? That's my own transmutation process. You know what I mean? One time I was on here and somebody had commented and said, I've never seen someone go through a range of emotions like the way that I do, like like relatability, like, you know what I mean? And I feel like those are the transformers, those are the transmutators, those are the way showers, you like that person that spoke and said and wrote that in one of the comments and stuff like that. They're a game changer in this world. They're molded by people. They're here to lead the fucking wave. And so maybe that's you too. Leading the wave. Look at that. And the blessings that come from ashore, right? That come from here. And I just feel like that there's something happening here, right? A hand being held out, right? Look at this. Right? It can seem turbulent. It can seem scary, like the murky waters. You cannot see what's underneath. And yet something is on the surface. And a hand comes out and it pours out. And it's also too, like, how deep in prayer have you been? What is your superpower? I realize we each have our own abilities and ways of doing things. That has always been part of my curiosity. Because when I would see somebody doing something and I'd be like, oh, that's really cool, like, whatever. And I think about the process of my way of doing something and I'm like, I don't do it like that. But yet we do the same thing. But I don't do it like that. And then for a while I would be like, well, then their way must be right, my way must be wrong. Stop that. Stop that if that's you. Like if you find that there's somebody that does something, like let's say somebody does candles, right? And you too do candles. And you have your way of praying and doing your own little ritual with candles. Not from no book, not from no teaching, intuition, right? This is you and God. This is you and the divine. And this is you behind the scenes being led intuitively. You don't need a fucking book. You don't need nobody to tell you how to do a motherfucking thing. And it doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, you should never learn from other people. And it doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, you can't learn from other people. Because please put your ego to the side and know that we are each one, reach one, teach one. Okay? But this is, I just want to make a point of this. So you do this, right? And then you have this whole thing. You've been doing this for 15 years on your own. And then you see somebody do it too. But they do this whole like dunk 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 oh tika 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 oh tonkon 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 and tika 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 and tika 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 and all this kind of bling bling and and then it's like oh so pretty and then you're like comparing and contrasting apples to oranges, right? And you're like, whoa, I guess the way I'm doing it is wrong. Stop that. If you are if you see something that inspires you to spruce up your technique and maybe enhance it in a way that makes it artistic for you or more expressive for you, then by all means, if it feels natural, do it. Don't do it because you think, oh my gosh, my way is the wrong way. Now I got to do it that type of way and all this. Nah, that's that person's way. You don't even know the story of their way. Their way could be copying, mimicking somebody else's, and it could be fucking blank magic. Meaning, when I say blank magic, empty. It's just a production. It's just a show. And meanwhile, you have the heart of it. And you're like questioning the heart of your magic because somebody else is putting on this big production. That's how I used to feel about YouTube, and why for many years, even though I started like 7-8 years ago, where I finally fucking caved in and just started recording videos and stuff, and I have every single video of mine uploaded. I never delete. You can see my history, my evolution, my revolution on this journey of my comfortability, my uncomfortability. You can see the whole process of my progress here on YouTube. But prior to actually fucking hitting record on YouTube and the years leading up to when I finally hit record on my YouTube, I was like, well, I don't got the tools. I don't got the gadgets. I don't got the editing material. I don't got the lighting. I don't got the camera. So all these excuses, meanwhile, all I need is something to record and upload. And if people don't want to see it because it's not this big production, then they're missing the heart of my something, and I'm not for them because I speak from the heart. Right? So granted, and I have videos that I do edit, like, and I do put music in the back. That's when I want to be fun. That's when I want, like, when I have time for that shit and all this kind. It doesn't take away the heart from the thing. And I'm definitely not copying nobody. You know what I mean? I never have to look for inspiration to do something, for my well exists from within. Right? So you might have a lot of people sipping from your well because their well is dry. Right? What's the difference between an artist and a copycat? Although an artist may draw an inspiration from the world and the world around them to draw, to paint, to dance, to express the art in the way that they do, right? You have to have expression in you, life in you to express, right? But it's coming from the heart. You don't need to watch material or something like that and then create your own. Fuck that. Nah. But a copycat gotta watch everybody. Right? They gotta draw on and sip from the wells of others before they could even make their own moves. That's how you could tell the difference too. Put them all in a room together and tell them to draw a picture, and everybody's covering their page. All the artists will have something drawn beautifully on their page, and all the people that have been just copiers, you'll see they'll be drawing blank. I don't know what to do. Oh, I'm just thinking I didn't sleep well last night. Oh my god, I'm not a drawer. I'm not a writer. I'm not the, so yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like the same thing like with the psychics on or the intuitives on YouTube and stuff like that. Give them real people to ask them about their real issues, and all of a sudden their intuition doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's either you're tapped in, turned on, tuned in, or not, or either that you're just fucking following a trend and jumping on boats and stuff. Like, look at the flourishing flower. Let's get more positive here. Like, this is what I mean. Like, this can always take, it could be topsy-turvy. Like, I don't like picking up on those type of energies. And that's because I have a lot of different kind of energies that watch and stuff like that. And they watch for different wrong reasons, like, to drink from the well, to drink from the well. Drink from the well. You can't drink my well. You can drink from my well, but you can't drink my well. You get what I mean? Like, and that's another powerhouse of a position to know and be, that people can drink as much as they motherfucking want, and you still gonna be that overflowing river, that stream, that ocean, that sea, that's so deep. You know what I mean? Because ain't nobody can fucking take from that which is the divine, the light, right? They can take, they can draw, they can try, they can prick, and all that kind of stuff. So you got to get right in that mind, that flowering, blossoming. Is that a word? If it's not, it is now. Okay, the blossoming mind, blossoming. Okay, blossoming. I don't know. I don't know where this accent came from. Right, but that be you. And here, this water breakthrough, this flourishing. So there's a revival. I feel like there's a revival. There's an explosion happening from within, and you coming on out. And look at, it's like the lotus, right? That's reminding me like the lotus blooming. The lotus blooming. The lotus blooming, and that be you. Right? And the well too. So healing wounds too. Wounds. Womb healing, the egg, the seed, the plant, the nurturing, the birthing, the healing, the key, right? The portal womb. Out comes emerging to look at, and the flower too, here on the, oh my goodness, here in your mind, in your third eye, from your solar plexus, right? Root chakra, solar plexus, lunar plexus, I was gonna say. Right? But here we go, like literally, right? We have our heart chakra. I need to fix my foot and stuff like that too, right? But we have like all these different things too, right? Because we have, sorry, I can fix my foot. The heart chakra, the sacral chakra, right? We have the root, the sacral, the solar, the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown. The crown, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't see. The crowning, right? The crowning, right? So with the root, it's I am. With the sacral, it's I feel, right? I feel, right? With the solar is I do, right? And with the heart is I love. With the throat is I speak, right? And with the third eye is I see. And then look at this. This eyes right here, if you look, they look closed, but they also look open. I've never seen, that is some deep art, because the eyes look closed, but the eyes look open at the same time. I see. And then the crown is I understand. As within exudes on out, that's what it's all about, right? Each one, reach one, teach one, and here we are blossoming, right? Because you see, you hear, you feel, you know, you taste. I am, right? I am whatever you say I am. Because if I wasn't, then why would I say I am? right? And so here we are. I like that. Oh, I gotta start going. Right? Through the keyhole, right? This person within, right? The Holy Trinity, I feel like, right? Here, like the Holy Trinity as within. And I feel like too, this is deep, right? Wow, this is a lot of deep. Like you're the key. You're the key. This is the key, right? And you're painting. So it's like what am I here? It's like the mastery of the divine masculine and feminine energies emerging, right? Coming together as one, right? It's like the me, myself, and I, me, myself, and I. We merging and we're forming together, and you're putting the pieces of the me, myself, and I together as you walk, as you turn, you are the key, you are also the bell. Because if you look at this could be a person too, the silhouette of a person, but it could also be a silhouette of a bell, right? So you are the bell, you are the whole, you are the key, you are the embodiment, you are the celestial being walking through this magnificent, right? There is no body, but there is a body. And it is the merging, the craft of that which is you. All into somebody here could be having triplets. Somebody here could be getting pregnant too, because that's what I hear, right? Right? Or, or just a metaphor to something. You're giving birth to 3 different things, 3 different projects, 3 different, like something is being birthed. This could be even a relationship. They're coming together. Here's some kind of justice too. Some kind of justice for that which has taken place. The unmasking, right? This could be three people, 3 people being named, 3 faces being named from the person that was invisible or not seen. This could be worldly things. So 3 people being named, and there could be justice being born. Okay? That could be worldly, right? So 3 people being named. That's what I'm hearing. Like coming out of the shadows. Right, coming out of the shadows, right? Because look at this is like the wound, right? Right? Because look at this is from that here. So this could be the birth canal, this could be a baby too, right? Coming out, right? A painful birth too, right? Something like that too. Or something scary within the birth of something, someone, but a truth needing to be screamed, something needing to come out, right? Vocalized, made known. Truth shall set you free, right? As you see, and this is a meeting, right? This is a meeting, right? A pact, a union, whether it's within oneself or with another, right? So here too, what I'm seeing is honest communication. There's honest communication. There's a connection being made, soul to soul, because look at how the eyes are looking at one another. Soul to soul connection being made, the flame, a flame being ignited. You could also be that for other people. You could be a healer in some kind of way. And this pact, this union with the divine that you have, and people coming to you, trusting you at this time because you can see in your eyes. The eyes of, you can see into the eyes of the souls of others. And people can see the truth in yours, right? Even the lost, the weary, they see that you see, and they can trust in this energy that is divine fire and lit, right? True seers are going to be coming out into this earth, right? And you're going to be able to you're going to be able to know who they are through their eyes. In person, you're going to know who they are through their eyes. You're going to see it in their eyes. The truth is going to be in their eyes. That is how you're going to be able to tell the real from the fake. It's just something in their eyes you're going to be able to see. It's going to be an energy. It's going to be felt. You know what I mean? So beware of any kind of trickery, any kind of deceit. It's going to be able to be seen. You're going to be able to look them in their eye. For a true seer will never look away. Deep into their soul, God leads the way. And all those that see will know the truth. And there will be no denying that which is seen. The birthing of the seeds that lead. And that's what I have for you at this time. Bye.